Call the member for Fowler.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to speak on the appropriation bill relating to the employment and workplace relations portfolio. We know that having a job pays the bills, put food on the table and send our kids to school. But employment does more than that. It allows individuals to contribute to the community and gives people a sense of dignity and purpose. That's why it's important the government develops policies that will ensure productivity and thriving employment opportunities. My area of Fowler is home to one of Australia's most disadvantaged communities. We have a median personal income of just about $500 a week, or about $1,500 per week for a family, and an unemployment rate nearly 3 times the national average. With the current cost of living crisis, many people in my community are concerned about job security and the future of work, especially their ability to access new and relevant skills to keep themselves in employment. This brings me to the 2023-24 budget, which introduced initiatives in skills, employment and workplace relations, specifically the announcement of fee-free TAFE courses. In my consultations with vet sector, one critical issue they raised with me was the lack of TAFE and RTO teachers. Does the government have a strategy in place to address the workforce shortage in this sector? While I do not oppose the idea of free TAFE places, I question the viability of such a scheme to be able to create jobs when we can't seem to find teachers to teach at TAFE and RTO. Who will be delivering the courses to the 300,000 plus places at TAFE? The government has also allocated $26.3 million over 5 years to boost employment services for young Australians in the care economy. I respect the need to encourage young people to work in the care area, but I must ask what stops the government from investing in other sectors of our economy, such as digital, trade or apprenticeships. What is being done to support young people who want to work in other industry sectors? Recently, I spoke to a young person from my community who told me about the difficulties of navigating through employment in the digital marketing sector. How is the government helping young disadvantaged kids from my area who want to make their mark in digital employment? Most of you here know I'm passionate about supporting small businesses, having previously run small business myself. Small businesses are the backbone of any local economy in Australia. They employ more than half of the Australian workforce. In my area of Fowler, 99% of local businesses are considered small to medium-sized. Recently, I had the opportunity to attend the Southwest Entrepreneurial Hub Expo, or SWAY for short, a fantastic event for local small businesses in Southwest Sydney to showcase their talents, products and services. I got the chance to speak with many local small businesses that have contributed to our local economy, and they all shared one great concern, and that's the impact of the cost of living crisis on their businesses and the fear of not knowing what's around the corner. For small business owners, tackling complex red tape, award wage systems and business administrations, worrying about the next interest rate hike is triggering more than fear. Which brings me to the government's proposed same job, same pay reforms. I understand the government is seeking to introduce legislation to ensure that labour hire workers are paid the same job in the businesses. It also aims to give more rights to employee-like contractors and address wage theft. While this policy is still in its early days, I ask the government to carefully consider its consequences for communities like mine. I understand that this proposed policy could undermine the qualifications of skilled workers, job classification and pay, and I ask the government to consider this. Most major industrial relations reform become a stoush between big business and union groups, and in the end, small businesses who have the most to lose get caught in a crossfire. While I'm largely supportive of the measures taken with the new IR legislation, I want to ensure that any measures will not have unintended consequences on our mum and dad corner shops, the bakeries, restaurants or the budding startups that keep our economic engine room going. In light of these upcoming reforms, I would like to understand the safeguard measures that will be put in place for small businesses within the new reforms. Would the government consider different regulations for small businesses to prevent them from being under the same blanket regulations as big corporations? What tools will small businesses be given to ensure they are compliant with any new IR changes, particularly for those from non-English speaking backgrounds? I ask you to think about the multicultural diverse community and the economically disadvantaged workers of this country, and especially families and business owners in Fowler, as you take steps to make any changes to our employment and IR laws. Thank you.
The question is that the proposed expenditure be agreed to, and I call the Minister.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. I'm not sure how many seconds I've got left. I'll go as quickly as I can. First of all, for the member for Fowler and the issues that were just raised, certainly consequences in communities like our own, which is very similar to my own community, are taken into account. If I can start with the principle that the loophole is only possible in a business which has a registered enterprise agreement, which rules out most small businesses in our electorates, and then it has to be sufficiently above the award that you can use a labour hire firm to undercut it. So for the sorts of businesses that Member for Fowler has referred to, I'd be surprised if there are many that are using the loophole in the first place in her